and a power rack and all these different plates and stuff at home. So I was like, well, what's the easiest way, most cost-effective way? I just spent like $400 and I bought all my athletes and my clients a bunch of bands, and I was like, here, come pick this up. We have like the stick mobilities, we probably have close to 70. I've got like 10 left. I handed them all out because I was like, I don't want any excuse. You're not going to sit at home and then come back and be like, oh, my back's all tight. Oh, my shoulder, my neck are killing me. I was like, no, zero excuse. Pick up a band. Like a library, I checked out all my equipment and I gave them instructions to like, this is your program you're either going to do on your own or we're meeting every week and you're going to do it with me. So excuses, there isn't any.
Yeah, absolutely. We agree with you. So listen, man, you're going to laugh at us. It's all good. So we actually went live and for some reason it just kept timing and timing and timing. So I just realized that the live just actually went on. So I want to give everybody a chance in the audience to actually know exactly who we're talking about in your business. Hey, so we adapted and overcome. This is part of what we're doing right now in technology. Sometimes sets us back. So first name, last name of your business, and then we're going to keep going with the conversation we're having.
All right, perfect. So I am Jose Rodrigo Chacon with Stretch Moves Holistic Wellness. My background was originally culinary and hospitality. I left that industry, I left that field. I'm not a stressful person. I don't do well with stress. So I decided to help people. Being an athlete, I figured the next natural thing is for me to help and work with athletes from prevention, performance. I started out with physical therapy, moved more to the performance side. After doing the performance side and working with a lot of athletes, I realized you guys are breaking down. What's going on? Then I got to the recovery aspect. Coming back full circle, I realized they're all components of this evolving wheel of what performance is. And whether you're an adult that has to perform at the Pentagon and sit all day long, or you're a professional athlete that has to lace them up and be able to play on the field or court, everybody has to perform. And so I work with youth athletes, soccer, lacrosse, all the way to professional soccer players. I work with grandmothers that have to pick up their grandkid off the ground and are fearful of picking up that newborn because they're all wiggly and they don't want to throw their back out or get them out of a crib, which is kind of scary, right? So those are the basic clientele that I work with. And my job really is to help to get them move better, get out of pain, stay out of pain, but more importantly, set them up with a long-term plan and program for them to continue to do, whether it's with me or here, I'll send this to you and you follow along. When you have questions, come back and we'll pick it up from there. My biggest transition now, obviously, because I can't stretch you and I can't massage your shoulder and I can't do whatever, is I've done a 360-degree flip and now I'm 100% virtual. So I still get texts and I still get calls like, hey, my arm and shoulder still bothering me. And I'll set up a one-on-one video telehealth session. And I'm like, okay,
That's awesome.
side, let me see what this range of motion looks like. Let me see what's happening, what's not happening. And from there, we'll go through stretches. We'll go through different exercises, corrective exercises so that can get better. And then I say, okay, do these things X amount of times. And then I'll see you next week. When I see you next week, you better be getting that arm up there. So those are the things that I've kind of had to transition to try to make things stay afloat, if you will.
Hey, Ty, Drew, I think we're probably going to need to use to go live with him and do some stretching exercises. The guy knows sometimes I get up in the morning, I feel like I'm so stiff, man.
Well, and that brings up a really good point, and everything that you're saying. I was really excited when you were coming on today. Looked at your website and was like, this guy looks like he's been doing this for the last decade, right? This isn't something where I went, oh, well, let me put a little blurb at the top going, hey, I'm shut down. I can't help you, right? You pivoted and you shifted in your business, changed up your model of how it works. And, you know, that's something that's really cool. But with that, you know, kind of the thought that I had and what I'd love to hear your thoughts on is with stretching. There's physical stretching, and then there's also mental and emotional stretching and stretching your business. So remaining flexible physically and in life in general is a big thing. So I would love to hear more about how you remain not just and help your clients remain not just physically flexible, but flexible in life as things happen. I mean, right now we're going through a big thing that requires flexibility. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, great question. I think to answer your first question, flexibility, it's often easiest to follow somebody else that is doing some of the stretches that are beneficial to you. And so going live and going one-on-one, or in our live Zoom classes that we do, follow along. And we often say, like, hey, if you don't have a stick, I don't want an excuse. I know you've got to have at least one broom in your house. Go take that bottom end of the broom off, put it down, and follow along, right? So when people say, hey, I don't have a stick, what do I get? Like, Amazon's not delivering. I don't want to hear it. Go get a rake, go get a broom, go get a shovel. I don't care. And I did it. I literally did a class on that. And I was like, look, my wife's teaching with a stick. I'm going to grab this broom. And, I was just like, don't put the dirty end by your face, right? Get that away from your face. So there are many ways to kind of work on your mobility and your flexibility. And I just think you have to be sort of creative. And that literally segues into your next question was, I'm not a person to sit around and sit on my hands and just wait, right? I can't wait around for SBA to be like, here's 10 grand, figure out what you want to do with it. When, Ruth Chris and Ritz Carlton and all these big corporations are getting these big fat checks. I just couldn't wait around and be like, I wonder when we're going to go back to opening up. Oh no, I knew right away. I purchased like a big box of $400 worth of bands, and I handed them all out to my athletes, to my adult clients. And I said, pick up a stick. I handed out kettlebells. I handed out bands that I bought for them to just take and use and check out, like a library system. And I said, you're either going to follow along with me live one-on-one multiple times a week, or you're going to follow this program that I've created for you online. The really cool thing is actually I got in early and I developed an app. So I know you can't even go to the bathroom without your phone. So I don't want to hear, I don't have access to this. No, yeah, you do. Look on your phone. And my app even gives you a reminder. Have you gotten your 10 minutes of sunlight yet? Have you gotten 10 minutes of walking yet? And so they're not to micromanage you like an employee. They're just nudges to be like, oh, damn, I've been sitting down for 12 straight hours. Only time I got up was to go to the bathroom. And guess what? This thing reminded me I should be going outside to walk and get some fresh air. So those are the kind of things that have enabled me to transition. We have to keep rolling. Like, yeah, we're in a pandemic. I'm a massage therapist by trade. I'm a physical therapist, and I stretch people and I help people physically hands-on. But just because this can't work, my brain is always rolling, and I have to find a way to get to my clients to get them better, so that I don't have a big long pile of I haven't moved in 6 months. We're just starting over at that point. So in order to keep things proactive, that's kind of what I came up with. And so far, thankfully, it's sort of working, right? Going live weekly. So we've got classes Monday through Friday, starting at 8:30, 10:30. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I work with my athletes. It's a live Zoom workout with them. So I got 12 some kids on there doing Zoom. So that's a lot of fun. And with the younger kids, it's actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be, because they're like, just, you would think that they don't need as much interaction as they do, but they do need it. Like, we'll stop and we'll stretch and we'll cool down. And they're like, hey, they're asking questions about like AP homework. And they're like, yeah, I did it. And then another one was chime in and say, it's not even graded. So they're going back and forth, like checking on, like, did you do your homework? And the other one's like, I did, but that's not graded. I'm like, oh my God. So it's just fun to interact with the kids always and see what they're up to. And I always ask them, like, what time did y'all wake up for real? There's no parents here. What time did you wake up? Some dude, well, our class is at 2:30, and one kid was like, I just got up at 2 o'clock. I just rolled up. He's like wiping his face. I'm like, man. So that's always fun.
So it looks like you have a lot of fun, man. So tell me, what's the one thing that you love most about your job, like on a day-to-day basis?
That would be, I think, watching the progression and evolution of a client, and really kind of getting their buy-in to, like, because I got to be honest, the majority of the time people contact me, they've already failed somewhere else. And that's not to brag about me. That's just because people get frustrated with, like, the chiropractor told me to do this. It worked. The 3 times a week I was seeing them. Insurance capped out or whatever, or this physical therapist told me just don't lift weights at all. Or the doctor just said, hey, I can cut you or give you these pills. Which one do you want? And so people kind of get frustrated with, like, there has to be another way. And so then I think just out of the virtue of me doing things differently, that's just kind of landed a little bit of attention my way. And to be honest, that's my favorite. Watching them, like, well, I was told I couldn't ever squat again, or I needed a new knee. And I'm like, we got to fix this. So watching their progression of, like, I was scheduled to have a knee surgery a week ago. And like, I've got testimonies on my website. There's a lady that I still work with today, and she was supposed to have her knee replaced 2 years ago. We still work out daily. And so she's squatting, she's lunging, and all the things that she was told not to do because it was going to deteriorate her knee. That's really my favorite. And then with like the younger kids, watching them literally grow up as they grow. There's a girl, I probably won't embarrass her now, but there's a girl that I've worked with. She was in 7th grade, scrawny, 98-pound kid when I met her. She's on the women's national team. So to watch that progression all the way through, you're lucky and you're blessed to be able to be a part of that. But that's a lot of fun to be able to see them at this level, being the same kid that you've known forever, and like just watching now they're married, right? But to me, they'll always be a kid. So that's always a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. So you women's national team for soccer?
Yeah.
That's cool. I know Drew loves soccer, right, Drew?
Oh yeah. Hey, that's great that you get to help people like that. When you first started this business, what's the one memory that makes you realize that you were in the right spot, that this was what you really wanted to do? What's something that stands out that reminds you of that?
I like that question a lot. It stood out when I realized I met my ceiling really early on in the traditional physical therapy setting. And when I realized, instead of just sitting back and waiting for kids to show up, that's really what got me, to be honest, waiting for kids to show up on crutches to my office at the clinic where I was working previously, that I realized, I was like, wait a minute, I grew up playing soccer 20 some years. I never got hurt. Why are all these kids just lining up, whether it was soccer, hockey, lacrosse, whatever they were playing, they were getting hurt way too often. And then I realized somebody's not teaching these kids all the things that they need to be doing. So working on speed and agility, teaching them how to plant, how to cut, how to get in and out of spaces safely, right? That's when I realized if we're teaching this better, if I can teach this better, frankly, and program them to prevent themselves from getting hurt, and then that yields them to be a better athlete or to perform better, whatever it is their sport is, then that's when I realized that's what I want to do. That's exactly what I want to do, because instead of, again, waiting around with my hands tied behind my back, like, oh, you got hurt? Surgery last week? All right, let's start your rehab. Why don't we prehab? Why are we waiting for kids to get hurt? Why are we waiting for kids to get hurt? Well, I could have told you 10 years ago, no, you're not supposed to be sitting 12 hours a day. Like, our feet are huge and our butt bone is tiny. We're not designed to sit. Right? Like, your butts are big now because
oh goodness. Sitting at home eating Twinkies all day, huh?
That's right. And so preventing and getting in front of all that, when I realized, and we got to remember, this is a 100% cash-based business. Like, I don't take insurance. When people were openly willing to pay me to help them, and I realized, like, wait, you're not waiting for an insurance to come in and bail you out, or you're waiting for your doctor to fill your prescription. That's when I knew, like, this is what I want to do. That people are getting the result that they're looking for, and they're coming back. They're asking me, when do I come back? So once that transition started, I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I love you guys. You guys are my friends. But from the physical therapy perspective, I was like, I got to go. I have to go try to find a way to support myself on my own limb. And it was not easy. I had a 4-month-old. I had a 4-month-old brand new. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go. And I wung it, and that was 2008. So literally started in the back of my trunk out of my car with a portable massage table, some cones, and whatever you needed, I was willing to come to you and figure it out. Then we transitioned here to my humongous 2-car garage where we sit today. 2018, October 2018, I started renting space with a buddy of mine inside of a CrossFit gym in Burke, in Fairfax. So they're in Burke CrossFit. So I rent a room there, and I rent the back half of the gym where I do speed and agility and work with adults in the back. So I don't teach CrossFit. Everybody asks me that. Are you a CrossFit coach? I'm not. I don't teach that. Occasionally I do jump in some of the classes, but I really break down movement, teach them to do that better, and then load them, accordingly.
Hey, I've seen some in some of your videos. You have a lady with you. Is that your wife, the one that does the videos with you?
Yes. Beautiful redhead. That's my wife.
That's awesome. Tell me how that dynamic is working, all right? Because now I'm seeing that you guys got that dynamic, husband and wife, and and now we're all cooked up at home, and we're having to see each other, work with each other. So tell me, how is she the boss? I mean, who's the boss in this relationship?
Oh, of course, you know that. She's always the boss.
All right, that's good. I'm glad you acknowledged that in life, right? We all know that.
Yes.
My wife is looking; she's the boss too, but we get to live together, work, and have a good time. But tell me, what does she do with you? Because I know I've seen her doing some of the videos as well.
Yeah, so Jennifer Tillman, she's my wife. She does the stick mobility classes. So she teaches the stick mobility classes every week, but she's actually also a Reiki master. And for those of you that don't know, Reiki is not our third partner. Reiki is a form of energy healing. So it sounds kind of corny and funny, but it is true. Star Wars, we all know the Force, right? May the Force be with you. And no, she does not levitate spaceships out of the water, but energy is real, and we cannot create it nor destroy it. We can contain it and we can transfer it, but we can't turn it on and turn it off, right? We can't stop it. So with energy in that process, she's able to help us do what our body naturally does anyway, which is heal. But if you take stress and you take stress leads to anxiety, or vice versa. Anxiety leads to stress, fear. All those things start to cascade, and now all of a sudden you're in this dark hole and you can't see yourself out. You can't see the end of the tunnel. She she normally does just over the skin touching, but now, ironically, she's even doing distant Reiki. So she can be doing Reiki to all four of us now. All you need to do is basically sit in a quiet, comfortable space and give her a text or give her a nod of some sort of that you're going to allow her into your space, right? And so she's not asking you any questions, but she is sending you literally good vibes and good force and good energy through the universe. And believe it or not, she gets sex all the time. Like, I haven't gotten a full night's sleep in weeks, and she wakes up to these like texts. Like, she's just helping people get better sleep. So if you're not sleeping, I have news for you. You're not recovering. And that cascade is fast. You don't sleep well, you get agitated, your immune system goes down, you got to go out and get milk or get groceries, and then guess what happens, right? So then it's being able to have that mind body. I think I bring more of the body, obviously, and she brings sort of the mind and the calm. So we are like that perfect yin and yang, where we balance each other out. Although she's the boss.
That's awesome.
Well, I love to hear it, because when we talk about the whole person, whether that's going into business, whether that's going into sports, whether that's going into a physical workout routine, having, that calm, steady mind, and, the flexibility, adapting to new physical stress, it's important. Our mind, our body, our spirit, they all work together. And unless those are firing, like you're talking about with you and your wife, it's really fun to see how somebody who's got those things working can go ahead and adapt so quickly. So I really appreciate you talking about that, because coaching and working towards the whole person, which obviously you and your wife are doing, and really trying to make people's lives better, it's an amazing thing. So I really appreciate you coming on for this. So
yeah, man, absolutely. I love that. I didn't even know what you were talking about earlier when you were asking me, and now I know. I guess I'm gonna have to read more about it. But hey, Jose, listen, I have a question for you, man. So I know that you were doing some things with the community, right? Because I know that since I've known you, I've seen you on the internet and on Facebook doing work. I know that you've always been involved with the community, and I know that you got some things coming up right now that are, with other businesses and for Mother's Day, right? I think you mentioned that to me earlier. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. As for anybody, right? Moms I kind of hold a special place in our hearts, right? And I think in today's age, more than ever, we sort of need to give back to moms, right? If you think of any mom at home trying to learn how to homeschool their kids, trying to figure out where I'm going to get my food source, what I'm going to make for food, like all those stressors are huge. And so what I did with some friends of mine that are also a family-owned small business, they're called Live Oak. They're in Delray, Alexandria, Virginia, near Old Town. And it's a really small world, because my next door neighbors, their son-in-law is a chef, and their other son-in-law is the general manager. So, and they're investors. So they're literally all vested in. And not just now, I think that we should be doing this all the time, but now more than ever, partnering with other small businesses is, I think, the only way for everybody to succeed, right? That mentality of trying to step on somebody else's throat so that you can get to that next rung that's not sustainable, right? And I think the only way to bring everybody else around us up is to partner with other people. And so that's what we did, is we got on a Zoom just like we're doing now. And I said, what are your plans? How can I help? What can we do for moms? And they're like, well, actually, we had to shut down. So they've been shut down for a couple months, and they're putting out a brunch, basically a brunch pickup to go menu. They're going to have a mini cooking class, how to prepare it at home. And so what I did was like, well, I've got a few things that I can offer. How can I just give this to you guys to kind of hand to the mom? So coming back to that mind body, we're offering 3 programs. So they're getting their brunch, but included with that brunch, they're going to be getting 3 programs from us. They're getting the Reduce Your Stress program, the Get Better Sleep program, and then we're putting the finishing touches on the video editing. But my wife and I shot Feel Good Flow, where you don't need any equipment. It's literally just to kind of down-regulate the mom so that they can have alone, some me time, and de-stress a little bit and just get some better movement, right? And so moms are not only going to get a brunch delivered to them, but they're also going to get this program that goes on for 4 weeks. And again, that goes all via the app. So they're going to get these nice gentle reminders like, hey, I'm sure you got lunches prepared, but have you had any of your time to get your stretches in, get your movement in? Have you done any meditation? So any of those things that I'm sure a mother's going to be like, wait, I don't have to work out. This is for me. This is actually to help take my stress down. So that was my way of kind of giving back to moms instead of like, hey, mom, happy Mother's Day. Want to lose weight? I mean, as a mother, I couldn't think of a worse insult than like, thanks, son. Like, what are you saying? Right. So instead of saying, hey, mom, here's brunch, let's go work out. Like, hey, mom, take some time for yourself. We got the rest of this. Like, we can figure out dinner for today. Why don't you go and calm down a little bit so you can get a better night's sleep?
That's cool, man. That's great, man. I love what you're doing and how you're changing lives. And you know, I just wanted to thank you on behalf of Tyler, my partner Tyler, partner Drew, and the Business Lab for allowing us the opportunity to just chat with you for a few minutes. You know, you're officially invited to come to our page anytime and do some of your free workouts. I know that you offer notes to the community. I know that a lot of us need to get our energy right, Tyler and Drew.
Absolutely. No, when you said you were bringing on somebody who works out, I was like, oh man, I've been working like 12-hour days, man. I should probably go for a walk, man. Yep.
Yeah.
So with thank you. And, you know, we look forward to seeing you around. And if there's anything that we can do for you, feel free to invite your friends and let them know that we're here. We want to help anyone that's got a business that's just thriving through this, I guess, not so clear times. And because you were right, man, the only way we're going to do this is if we support each other. So once again, thank you on behalf of the lab, and we look forward to seeing you around, man.
Thank you all. This is great. Thanks for inviting me, and yeah, I look forward to it anytime. You guys want to do it again, or we can spotlight, or you want me to give you some tips on who else we can spotlight? I'm happy to help.
Yeah, man. Just let them know where we're at, and we'll set it up. We'll continue to work together.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, Jose. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
All right, man.
Bye. Yep.
Talk to you soon.
All righty. Bye.